Okay, so the first thing that we are doing here today, I was exposed to Erin Garey, an artist, during the Twitter.
Exposed is not a great word, but
No,
That's true.
Not during this pandemic.
Yeah. I learned about Erin, and I don't have my mask on because I'm a fool.
you're all right. You can.
I
you
can
get
put it
on.
on. Because of the Comic Writers Challenge. I was bidding on something that I lost because I fell asleep right before the bidding ended.
These things happen.
I was pretty upset, but then I got the idea, hey, you know what artists like? They like commissions.
Do they, Clara? Do they like commission?
It depends.
So I got us
It's
a
a hard
commission, and I thought I would show you guys on the 150th episode.
Oh, look at that! It's hilarious!
I wanted it to be like preposterous.
Look at it! I haven't seen it. Daredevil, that's awesome. With glasses.
That's why I had you guys pick a
Clara, you
random
gotta see this.
MCU and a random color.
Oh my god.
And we're going to put all of the contact
Is
info.
that going to hang up in here?
I love it.
Can we hang it right here?
No.
I have the spot in my house for the regular,
Nice.
for the dailies, and when we record at my place,
Yep.
it'll show up
It'll be
there.
right behind it.
But I thought you guys would be able to appreciate for the 150th episode.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I wanted the same style as the painting that I lost, which
Oh,
was
sure.
this watercolor style, which I haven't seen watercolor done like
Can
that.
you flip it
We
around?
I have good scans of it.
You do. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
We have digital copies of it.
Because that is awesome.
But yeah, I thought we'd all be able to appreciate that.
That is hilarious and
That's so
great.
cool. Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Nathan Kelly, creator and artist of Drexler, and I just wanted to take a moment to say congratulations to the good folks at Smash and Grab Comics on 150 episodes. That's truly impressive. Keep up the good work, guys, and hope to reconnect with you guys one day in the future.
Hiya, it's your pal John Lees, and I just wanted to send a quick message of congratulations to the team at Smash and Grab Comics for reaching the milestone 150th episode of the podcast. That's a real achievement. I mean, a lot of people can have an idea or maybe even start an idea, but the difference makers is the people that can persevere and keep going and keep it consistent, and all the more because it's such a good quality and it's a really good show. I've enjoyed listening to it, I've enjoyed participating in it, and I like to say that, like, I think that sometimes, like, people think it's the subject matter of a podcast that makes it work or not, but I don't really agree. I think more than the subject matter, it's the people that make the podcast, the personalities, and that's why I think that Smash and Grab Comics is such a good show, because you have Tyler, and you have JP, and you have TR, and you have, like, the real chemistry, and you get the sense that these guys really do like each other and get on, and it feels genuine, and that's what makes it such a great show. It's really meant a lot that you guys have had me on and let me kind of take part in your chats like multiple times in your run, and I hope to be invited multiple times more in the future. But in the meantime, I hope you have a fun 150th episode celebration, and I wish you all the best for the next 150 episodes. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so we just saw the video with Nathan Kelly and John Lees, and we just wanted to say a huge thank you to both of those guys. Absolutely. Make sure to check out their works. I mean, John Lees, I've said for a while now, he is the king of indie horror, and Nathan Kelly is a definite up-and-comer to watch. Drexler's coming out through Scout. So big, huge appreciative thank you to both of them. And again, a big thank you to Erin Garey for that painting.
Yeah, they're beautiful human beings. They're
Looks
creative
great.
people. We're so happy to have them be a part of the Smash and Grab journey. And continued. You know, hopefully they can continue our journey with them and us and all that. I mean,
For
it's
sure.
just really cool and really humbling for them to do that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That was
Thanks,
great.
thanks
Thanks
a
so
lot.
much.
Hey everyone, welcome to Smash and Grab Comics. This is not even going. Hey, that was fun. False start, everyone. Let's see if I can gain that energy again. Hey everyone, welcome to Smash and Grab Comics. I finally figured out my own recorder. We're sitting here on a Saturday night having fun. This is our live stream on Facebook for our 150th episode.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right, let's go around the table. I'm going to introduce everybody that's here, and to my left, probably your right, I don't know, Clara Meath, is here hanging out with us.
Back again.
Back again. And the old joke is I can't remember anything, so it's Sarah Meeks.
Sarah Meeks.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot that was my
I'm
alias, my
Yeah.
pseudonym.
Stage name.
Yeah, I'm surprised that that's still a thing. We can,
We've created
There,
it. and
there is
made it.
exactly one person
it's-
in charge of keeping that a thing.
yeah,
And it's us.
Yeah.
I hate to let you know this, but actually one person and it's us. That doesn't work.
Yes, us, we.
Yeah.
No, you guys are actually separate entities still.
No matter how
Until
many
the
fingers
surgery goes through, I refuse to accept you two as one person.
I got a down payment on it. So.
until you the fly yourselves.
Yes.
You're two separate
Oh,
people.
that'd be so cool.
that would be awesome.
That'd be so cool.
be terrifying.
Like, picture JP, but like now he's got one of my arms out of his forehead.
Imagine how many
He'd
more
be like a
donuts they'd eat.
superhero of ugly.
Imagine how useful that would be.
That
Okay.
would be useful.
So, hey, before we really get started chatting about stuff, TR, can we show off the painting that you had done?
Yeah, I can go get that.
Okay, for our live stream and our podcast listeners, it is our 150th episode tonight, and TR had a painting made of the three of us as our favorite superheroes.
It's
done,
beautiful.
Done in our favorite
lovely.
colors.
Make sure it's on.
For the camera, that's for the live stream. Let's show the YouTube viewers for those
Yep.
cameras. What?
Actually, for those cameras, I'm doing a drop in.
Oh,
Should be good.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, so it's very tastefully done in watercolor. I think it looks somewhat similar to us.
I think
Right?
it's great. I think it's really good.
I love seeing me in a Daredevil costume with my black glasses over
Yeah.
the over the mask.
It's also kind of funny because like it's Daredevil, but it's also green Daredevil.
yeah, because he
Yeah.
asked me who's your favorite hero, and then he said
Pick a color.
Pick a color.
Pick a color, and so it is not the color of Daredevil. It's done in green.
It's kind of cool though. I like that.
Yeah, and it's definitely his costume, but it's got my beard and the glasses. And JP, what color was yours?
Blue,
Blue.
which works well for Thor.
Yeah,
And
I
I chose MCU Thor, like movie Thor.
Yeah.
Because he's highly underrated character from the movies. I think he's my favorite because he's had the most tumultuous storyline. Because it's like he lost his kingdom and his girlfriend and his dad and his mom and his brother and everybody dies and he got fat. He
So-
gave up on life and
Because
like
this-
you know what I mean? Like
because from movie to movie, the scripts were written way different for him, and he basically had to be like a chameleon to go from super, pouty Thor in the Thor movie,
Yep.
to definite hero in Avengers, to fat, washed up Thor at Endgame, and
And then also the complete reinvention of the character in Ragnarok was huge for him.
yeah. So to me, it felt very disjointed. Like I couldn't really get into the character.
I love his character. I really
Guys,
do.
we do have from Bailey, who has been on the show with us before. Happy
Bailey.
150.
Thanks, Bailey.
Hi, Bailey. Thank you.
Thanks, Bailey. Appreciate it, buddy.
So just to throw in a word from our sponsor, you can see a couple of us are wearing rainbow
What size is
masks.
it?
Stream is not
Yes, there you go.
What's
I
that?
can feel
Live
for
stream
it.
is not working. Which, yeah,
Live stream is not working.
It might
not very well.
What's it just?
It's completely frozen.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're connected to Wi-Fi or no?
No, just straight up network. Wi-Fi is not good.
Okay.
I'll try it again. I'll see it. You guys go.
So we're gonna just keep plowing through. JP, you can talk from back there. What Chris Hemsworth did was awesome, but I'm thinking as far as like the whole beginning to end, I felt his character was hard to get into.
From in the original one,
No, all the way through,
all the way through.
because he was like JP said, that roller coaster.
Yeah.
that Thor was on. I felt like we were getting completely different performances from Chris Hemsworth also.
Well, and I'll say something here in just a moment about that.
Sure.
I'm going to try and get this up and running one more time here.
Sure.
It,
Hey, I can hear us.
I know that was the current one that I had.
Oh, this is good. This is good.
Yeah,
for
we're
me.
Quality content.
This is what people are looking for.
yeah.
Are they?
No.
I mean, Facebook Live. What can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the YouTube and the podcast will just keep on trucking.
Yeah.
We'll adjust.
Yeah. So you picked Thor. TR, who'd you pick?
I picked Falcon.
Falcon.
I picked Falcon because I really like a lot of when he's doing the melee fighting.
Yeah.
The way that he uses especially in Endgame, when he's got what's his face, the huge dude.
Ant-Man.
No, the huge bad guy.
Oh.
the really big bad guy where it wasn't a specific one. It was just one of their trolls or whatever.
Okay.
But he flies up, kicks him in the chest, knocks him down,
Came in
and then
feet first.
and then stabs both of the wings right into its chest.
Yep.
And then was it Civil War?
Yeah.
Where he's using them as a shield, and then just like with his little wrist thing, just like, I'm just gonna pop these guys off with these little missiles real quick.
Right.
So cool. It's like Iron Man, but without being Tony Stark, and I don't like Tony Stark.
It really.
I like Robert Downey Jr. He has dreamy eyes.
All right.
It,
See how it goes.
It really bothers.
Two.
Okay.
If it fails again, we'll probably just have to just deal with it.
Do you have a favorite Marvel character or any superhero character?
Gosh.
I know you like comic books. Do you like superhero comic books?
I've never been that into superheroes,
Sure.
so I'm not that good at the answering
Did
that
you watch
question.
the movies?
I've seen most of them.
And it's okay not to.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's
I
perfect.
can stand here as a
As a-
working artist
as a
and
comic-
say that it is okay to not care about superheroes.
Yes, it is.
As a comic creator, that's almost refreshing to be like, yeah, I don't watch that.
Yeah.
Well, 99% of the stuff I read is not superhero based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be that way for me, but I'm coming back.
Yeah,
around.
slowly but surely, you and I have both come back. When we originally incepted this show and we're doing this show, we
Didn't
were
talk about
on,
superheroes at all.
We were on the back of just doing independent.
Yeah.
Like, just
remember that.
only doing independent and mostly independent horror, and that's it. I mean, that's all we did. And then we kind of slowly started to creep it in because the content, I think, got
We wanted.
better.
Well, we had our. Don't bang the table. Got it.
I'm just watching the table moving quite
Indeed.
a bit.
Indeed.
Okay,
I'm a
so-
handsy talker, sorry.
We had originally we had this idea of what we wanted to do, the kind of comics that we like to read, but that expanded because writing got better. We saw that year, 2017, we saw a lot more independents pop up, not just brand new Aftershock, because it was really those Aftershock and Image books that spurred me to want to make a basically a news program on them and talk about them, because it was up and coming stuff that was super cool and better than anything DC and Marvel were doing.
And you and I were both on the same page that was where the great content was coming from, was independent market.
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
And that's kind of where
That's where some of the most creative stuff was coming from too,
Exactly.
because with the so-called big two, DC and Marvel, they're not willing to take risks with their established characters. They're not willing to do this big, amazing stuff that you will find in indie comics.
Yep.
Like, you're not going to find, I mean, just to bring them up again, you're not going to find Sync in
Right.
DC. You will never find any iteration of that. And that, to me, is one of the greatest horror comics that exists.
Yeah, especially in the
There's
last
just-
decade here.
yeah,
It's great.
There's just no place for it in Marvel or DC.
No.
And that's why
completely unique.
indie is really important to me personally because of that, because we're going to get that check out those tights, the boots, and the cape. He's flying around. All right.
But then Tyler and I saw a shift, and we started
To
to kind
Marvel,
of
because Donnie Cates, he
Yeah.
was doing Aftershock stuff with that Baby Teeth book.
Yep.
And then he did Venom simultaneously.
Well, he also did,
and then it just took off.
Then he did Redneck with Image.
And then, when he went to Marvel and started getting Marvel titles, that's when that
Especially
indie flavor
Venom.
got moved. I mean, I'm not saying Donnie Cates is the end-all, be-all, but, I mean, his writing really changed mainstream comics. Because now, comic books like this, I know it was Peter David, but I'm reading The Incredible Hulk, the first appearance of Maestro.
Yeah.
Right? This character that's being brought back right now in Marvel to play off of Hulk stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to come back in a big way because there is a lot of movie tie-ins in that book, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because I think in the MCU they're going to bring Maestro in. Because
Never know.
Black Widow in that comic book said a line to Bruce Banner that was straight up from the movie, and she looks just like the movie character in that new issue over there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I think, revitalizing these old characters. Like I said, this is Peter David that's doing this, not Donnie Cates.
No.
But revitalizing these old characters, giving them new spins, playing on these old backstories that nobody really did. Are we
We're down again.
Dead
We're
again.
down again. Okay.
Just have to
So-
scrap the live one. I mean, if it's Facebook Live is just going to be not working, then
Sorry.
okay.
Sorry to our Facebook Live folks.
So
Just have to deal with it.
if you're watching this later, JP, will you put out a sorry?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we're on YouTube. We're on
We're on all sorts of
Podcast.
Yeah.
other platforms.
what? What else is going on in the world? So we got the painting going on.
Yeah. Got the painting and we got the really nice congratulations video, which we appreciated greatly.
100%.
Hey,
That's great.
are you gonna drop that into the YouTube video
Yeah.
of this too? Okay.
Yep. Both of those will be drop-ins and then we'll do reaction. That's why I just did the reaction
Right,
shots.
right.
But I don't know if we really announced officially our actual sponsor. You just said it, that we have one.
Rainbow Comics, Cards, and Collectibles.
3310 South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 1501 Pine Lake Road, Suite 17 in Lincoln, Nebraska.
You got it.
You finally did it.
Bow before me.
You have risen.
Yeah, so here we are, 150th episode. Thank you to Rainbow. I love the new mask, though. By the
Yeah.
way. Can you hear me okay? It feels thicker.
It sounds pretty good. It sounds better than the one I came in with.
Yeah.
I think you guys sound great.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I like
I'm not
it.
having problems.
You know why I like it? Because
Huh?
it's got the double strap as opposed to the ones that go behind my ears and pull my ears forward since I wear glasses.
Yep.
And this is nice because it's a little bit different.
Let me tell you,
style.
when those aren't awesome is when you have longer hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, because then it
Yeah.
doesn't stay.
I am the person with the longest hair here.
yeah.
It
By
gets
a
wingy
good-
for me. Like I'll get wings midday.
Yep.
Just sprout out.
You know, I don't.
We could combine the hair length of everybody else at this table, and I still
would
win.
win. Clara and I could add ourselves to JP's, and it still wouldn't be long enough.
Yeah.
I don't think you have much to contribute
I
up
know.
top.
Hey, listen.
I know.
Maybe the
listen.
beard hair.
Do you know
Every
okay,
contribution helps.
so,
Indeed.
You know, I was just talking to TR and Clara in the van a minute ago about the beard underneath. Wearing a mask, it always curves out, right, and forward. So I just ordered this beard sleeve. That's a
Wait. Beard sleeve?
yeah.
That's the tone of voice
A
that you
thing
gave
that
him.
exists.
Yeah. It's a condom for your beard. It's not a big beard, guys. You made it weird.
Is it-
You know,
Yeah.
Pete Holmes.
Did you
made
get
it weird?
Did you get the Magnum size?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, good deal.
Because you remember a few years ago how huge my beard was?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it was just like nonstop beard jokes. I'm growing it back. So, because I had to shave it because we had a kid at our daycare with lice. And
Yeah.
That's why it
no.
got shaved. That's why it got
And you just got
shaved.
worried.
Yeah, yep. And then
'Cause you didn't have lice. You just sort of like, I'm not taking any chances.
Yeah, and I never had the patience to grow it back, and now I'm working on
Now
it.
you're working on it, man.
So anyway,
That's what's happening with my
this-
regular hair.
yeah,
Because
it's
for me,
looking
it
good.
used to be past my shoulder
Did it?
for years.
And then when you make that choice, and then you're like, oh, I'll grow it back. It's hard to get going again. On it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when it's this freaking hot.
Yeah.
This is just my quarantine
Like-
cut. I mean,
Yeah.
I just haven't been anywhere, and then I just kept growing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it.
So this beard
what happens.
sleeve, it
This is important, you guys.
it looks like you know like an outlaw style bandana.
Yeah.
But yet it goes all the way around your neck, and you can just pull it down and put it back up.
So I like beard pouch better
Yeah.
than beard sleeve.
When I did it,
Like,
when I
the-
did
every way-
it'll be here Monday. So
Everything that you did to describe it made me less comfortable with you as a person. Like your beard makes me more uncomfortable, and it made me uncomfortable before.
Did it?
Sure.
My beard pocket.
you know, I mean, I like to poke fun at your facial hair as much as I can, but
Yeah. But you have to
but-
be careful because Lemmy Kilmeister will come back from the dead
I
and
know.
end you.
But you are a good Lemmy. Let me just tell you.
Absolutely.
I used to be able to do the impression fairly well.
On
Of the voice.
on the movie Airheads, he is in the
Yeah.
crowd at the. You ever seen Airheads?
I love airheads.
Okay,
It's so
have you
fun.
seen it,
Isn't he
Clara?
the one where after the guy goes, I used to masturbate
Yeah.
constantly?
And then he goes,
And he's like,
he goes, I used to be the editor of the school magazine.
and that's the same one because they have the trivia of who would win in a fight, God or Lemmy.
And they'd be like, Lemmy.
Trick question, Lemmy
Lemmy
is
is
God.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
So
If you haven't
fun.
seen that, Clara, check it out.
I can't remember.
Steve Buscemi, Adam
It's
Sandler.
Brendan Fraser,
Brendan
really
Fraser.
Brendan
So
Fraser.
very of the time.
If it had Adam Sandler in it, I probably have not seen
It
it.
is a 90s flick.
Yeah.
He's a very
he's
B
low.
character.
He's low part.
It
Okay,
was one of his
okay.
first films.
It's not an Adam Sandler movie. He's
No.
just in it.
Okay, it just features it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
featured.
Brendan Fraser is
He's
really
the
main
drummer,
character.
and he
Okay.
gets the appropriate amount of airtime.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a Brendan Fraser movie.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And before Brendan Fraser became a joke, really.
He
I have-
became a joke because he spoke out against people being victimized.
I was gonna say I have strong
I have
opinions
really
on that.
strong opinions on
He
that.
got a
too,
bad hand
but
from
he
Hollywood.
He
Yeah.
lost his Hollywood cred. And
But the reason that he did
this
is
is
he was
prior to
telling people stop doing this kind of the Weinstein type stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that
And he
and-
was blacklisted, and that's like when the weight gain happened and everyone was making fun of him.
Yep.
People who he was saying stop doing this and this needs to be brought to light.
They just ripped him. to shreds.
They were paying money to have stories like that made to ruin his career.
Wow.
And it
Well,
worked. I
he
mean,
ran into a bad divorce and lost
Yeah.
a lot of money, and then he hurt himself really bad during the Mummy films, like because he was the top paid actor at that time. He was the #1 paid actor in Hollywood when the Mummy films were huge.
Man.
I still love those movies.
Yeah, he was so amazing.
He
man.
was the first Mummy.
He was
is-
exquisite. Yeah.
The first Mummy I could watch on an infinite loop.
Absolutely.
so
It's so good.
It is.
And the second one's pretty passable except for the end, and then the third one just goes off the rails.
Scorpion King was awful.
And Scorpion King,
Oh man,
yeah,
the
that's
CGI!
different.
I forgot.
It's so bad.
CGI
Like,
was
bad.
so
you could have just literally had The Rock walk out, and the movie is 10 times better already.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, well, yeah.
There doesn't need to be some
Genuinely,
giant like scorpion
all
monster.
they needed was
The Rock's scary
with
enough.
a couple of big ass swords.
Then you could have done a great
Like
fight
they're
scene.
glowing with an eerie,
Yeah.
ooh, that's not a natural light. That's a supernatural. That would have been so much better than this, like, hey, it's 1997 video games.
But budget concerns, and The Rock was pretty heavily paid at that point, so they couldn't afford to.
At that point.
They couldn't afford to keep
was
him
gonna say.
for a whole movie. So, because he was still in the WWE wrestling and making lots and lots of money.
Yeah, this was pretty.
He
close
was
to
still
his
an
first
indentured
movie,
servant.
right?
Yep, because they were trying to
Wow.
launch. They were trying to launch him as the big thing, and the Scorpion King movie
Yep.
was supposed to launch a franchise, and he was supposed to reprise the role
Right.
Yep.
and keep going. But there was a disconnect because in the
he was
Mummy,
a bad guy
Yeah.
in the Mummy,
Right.
and he was
a hero.
yeah, like a big time hero. Like,
Yeah.
look at me freeing all these people because I'm the Rock. Versus, check it out, I'm a scary, really bad rendered.
I made a
scorpion.
deal with the Egyptian devil.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause, like when
When did you make that turn, man?
Yeah.
It was weird.
like when did he go from I'm in love with this lady, I'm gonna do what I can to save her, and I'm just gonna be a good king to, you know what would help me is an army of the undead.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna make a pact for my soul for that.
Screw that! I want to watch the world burn. I guess. Okay.
Some people just make bad decisions.
I think what happened was she broke up with him.
I think you should write fan fiction to bridge.
Yes,
You're
yes,
just
I
gonna
should
blame
do that.
the
Future
lady.
tense.
Here,
Yeah,
have you guys
future
ever-
tense.
Have you guys ever written fan fiction for anything?
I did.
No.
Kind of.
I have not.
I rewrote the movie Daybreakers. Actually, I rewrote the Daybreakers flick, which is a vampire movie, and I
I'm familiar with Daybreakers. I kind of liked it.
I did too, but I felt like there was some missed opportunity because the world building was really great in it.
Yeah.
And then the ending was just a bloodbath for just the sake of a bloodbath.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, this is just kind of back-asswards right now. I felt like we lost the vampire during the action film. Like, we just kind of lost our way. And I just feel like it should have been a little bit more vampire movie than it just kind of...
Than action
They kind of
movie?
just lost it to
Yeah.
me.
No.
It's a decent movie, but I wouldn't put it in my...
Would you be willing to read yours on the show?
Oh, it's lost to time.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you about my fan fiction. I was a young elementary school kid, and my
Good
parents,
start.
This is gonna get nasty.
my parents bought me a notebook. This was when the '89 Batman movie came out, so it was an '89 Batman movie poster notebook. Okay, it had one of the images on it, and I had it in my head that I couldn't put anything in it except Batman stuff, and I began to write the craziest Batman story, and I just kept going. Like, I would just add to it like it was a journal. And my parents were really good about like not laughing at me, not making a big deal out, just letting me do my thing. And then my mom quietly took it and put it away after I was done doing that, and she brought it out to me not too long ago. And Okay, one, I'm really glad she saved it, but two, the amount of embarrassment when you realize that this went on for a year or two.
Yeah.
I also dabbled in doing like my own little like shadow radio plays, and then we played a lot of D&D, so I wrote a lot of stories for like playing D&D campaigns.
Yeah.
So nothing
was-
crazy like
I loved playing with action figures, but my brother really liked it when he and I would be the characters. Like we put on the proton packs and be the Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to I like the action figures.
You like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
role-playing games. He liked LARPing.
Yeah, there you go. Boom.
Who knows his nerd terms? Go ahead, ask me who knows his nerd terms.
TR, you are a comedy writer. You're writing a comic book script. What about you? You've had to write some fan fiction.
Well, and actually, the comic book that I'm working on right now, it's almost a historical fanfic.
That's right. Yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah, because it's based. The main character is based on an actual person that existed during right around 0 BCE.
Yeah.
So,
JC.
yeah, you down
Okay.
with BCE?
Yeah, I'm talking about
Yeah, you know
Jesus
me.
Christ, man.
Yeah, you know me.
Okay.
At least he got it.
I know.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
It's-
you know me.
Yeah. So at some point, I made the mental switch to Common Era and before Common Era.
Yeah.
And so I just do that automatically without thinking about it.
Yeah.
So if I say BCE, that's just BC.
Or CE. Yeah.
Yeah, and CE
mean,
would be
in-
AD, Anno Domini,
Hey, in
in the year of our Lord.
in school, my art history teacher was so hard on kids that would just say AD or BC, because in their art formal analysis, when you had to write when it came out, what who did it, all that kind of stuff, and if you put AD or BC, she would count it wrong. So it had to be BCE or CE.
That's weak.
Before Common Era and Common Era.
I mean, that's the way she wanted it. That's the way she wanted it.
Yeah, but that doesn't feel like something that's actually going to help you in art history in the future.
No, but
Yeah,
but
I
it's her
happen
choice.
to have heard
But
it said differently, so I'm going to be a dick about this. That sounds like what that's creating.
She was taking all religious aspects out of it. Was her.
Boy, that's hard to do with art, especially paintings and stuff.
Yep. I don't know.
How do you even do that?
She was weird, man.
How do you
She
even?
was weird, man.
All right, so we're going to completely remove
She's-
all of
okay.
the religion from this painting
All
known
right,
as
all right.
Madonna with the Christ.
We're gonna move on because she follows my Facebook. So we're gonna move on.
Oh.
We
We're
love
gonna move
you.
on. At least we're not live streaming it, so you ain't gotta worry about it. If you want to, you can just cut it.
What?
Claire, what about you?
TR,
Did you do any
I'm
writing?
teasing. She's a friend. I don't know if she watches it.
I know you do. You do tons of art. I mean,
As we're having this conversation, I went into it saying like, no, I never did fan art, but I'm remembering now, or fan fiction, but
Yeah.
I'm remembering now, I actually did when I was very young. I used to draw a lot of like storybook format fan fiction of the Disney Robin Hood movie.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Fox.
Yes.
Oh, man.
That was a ton of fun. I think I did like 13 of those, I think. And they got really meta. I think one of the last ones was like Robin Hood goes to the moon or something. Totally ran out.
How
of
did he get to
subject.
the moon? I gotta read this.
I was gonna write a fan fiction. No doubt. No, this is no joke. I was gonna write about why Prince John carries his blanket. Right, and he always has his blanket, sucks his thumb, and
Right.
all this stuff like that. So I was gonna write this whole thing on why he still has his blanket, because they never really
Yeah,
talked about why.
Like a backstory for
Yeah.
the blanket.
Yeah.
backstory for the
bad-
blanket.
The bad.
I love it. Do you
Yeah.
still have those, Claire?
They are somewhere in my parents' house.
So they exist and they're still around.
There were boxes and boxes of these things I used to make. Like I was making comics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was a long gap in between where I didn't, but early on I was. Yeah.
when I was a kid, I made a lot of pop-up books because I was just like figuring out how they worked, and I was
you're
always
a smart
fascinated.
person. That's
Well, I was always fascinated by how they worked, and then I, like
so when you'd open it, and
like
just the leverage of it.
what mechanisms used to make this pop up. So I used to make my own with just experimenting with folding paper and trying to get the tension right to like make my own little forest or whatever, like a zoo. I did all that stuff. All got lost of time because I moved around way too much when I was a kid. But I remember vividly making many pop-up books and pop-up animals and forests and trees and dragons and all sorts of fun stuff.
I almost lost an eye to a pop-up book about a giraffe.
I wouldn't admit that. I would not admit that. That's not
That was
me.
big of you.
Okay, you know what? I
What's
was
up?
25 at the time.
It's not that bad.
So-
It was 25.
How
Who
how
feels
many
du-
substances
who feels
were
dumb
involved?
now?
Listen, I don't know that I can still count that high after the use of. No, I'm a what? I'm a fairly mild person when it comes to
Tepid.
that type of stuff.
We saying tepid?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know
Yeah.
what word you were looking for.
No, me neither.
I don't know.
I'm
lost, too.
TR.
I'm
We
TR.
took your meaning.
Yes.
We got you.
We got it.
Oh man. So what are you guys doing? We're wearing masks. For those that on the podcast can't see us, but you can hear us. We're all wearing masks, and
So hopefully we sound okay.
yeah.
I think we'll sound just fine.
And you know,
We're crammed in more
I'm-
normal.
As
more
I
than
can
normal.
hear you guys, yeah, we're tighter around the circle than the three of us usually are. We're usually more. Usually we talk about comic books or whatever came out that week, whatever DC news came out. But I thought today we could literally just like this riff about whatever's going on.
Sure.
What are you
Well-
guys doing in quarantine?
Well, that I want to let Clara talk about that first because we're talking about wearing masks and she, you're working on comics in this industry. How has things been with quarantine? Do you find yourself creatively coming to easier just because you're already like you have to be locked in, and stay at home, or do you find it harder to like get connected with people? What have you found?
I have no interesting answers to this.
That's okay.
I can honestly say, even when I lived in Minnesota, when we had like a hard lockdown, my life has changed maybe 3%.
I was gonna say you were really already a homebody, so this was
Yeah.
like this doesn't affect me that much,
It really doesn't, honestly. There's just more people online looking at my stuff now.
which is good.
It is good.
So
Like,
you've seen that as a positive light.
yeah. I mean, and you know me. I try to put a positive spin wherever possible, but yeah, it has not really affected me that much, for better or for like. I feel gross saying that because it feels like this excessive privilege, but
I know
It really hasn't.
I haven't felt much change, and I still live in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't mind the quarantine. I'm such.
Yeah.
I'm not.
it's like this is okay. I'm fine with it.
I'm not antisocial, but I don't mind when plans get canceled on me.
Yes.
I hear you.
So when all of a sudden I didn't have to like tell people no or be miserable while I went and did something with them. And it's not the act of the people themselves. It's just TR. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
You're social anxiety like I am a little
Yep.
bit. And so
You can only keep yourself at that level for so long.
You're
Yeah.
you're an introverted extrovert.
yeah. I mean, you guys know me. I'm a very talkative person, but I don't have.
It
buddy
drains your
friends.
battery pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we're done with this, I go home and just. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go home and yell at my dogs.
So the point I'm trying to make is like I literally was just it felt like I don't have to make excuses anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I get to stay home and not feel guilty.
Well, then inside your own creative bubble, it didn't really change anything. Was there people outside of your creative bubble that you like, or things that you were surprised with quarantine that have changed? Looking outside, working at art, and projects that you've seen that have surprised you during quarantine. Have you seen anything like that?
You mean other people's projects? Or?
yeah.
I mean, I did participate in a quarantine specific Kickstarter.
I think that's kind of what I was getting to. I think I remember you were talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How was
I mean,
that?
It was just one page, so it
Sure.
wasn't huge in my life or anything like that. But it was a very good idea. The project was called Quarantine, and it was just a story that I think every page was drawn by a different artist. And the Kickstarter went well, I believe. I can't remember right now. I should know the guy's name. I don't have it right now. My bad.
It's all right. We're not putting you on the spot.
Yeah, sorry. I should
Yeah.
have been more prepared.
You're fine. Well, that question kind of came out of left field anyway, but
But I think that was the only quarantine specific thing that happened directly because of that in my art experience.
yeah.
Otherwise, I just got a lot of commissions. People just staying home, spending more time on the internet, buying commissions.
Nothing wrong
Not
with
gonna
that.
complain.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because I don't go out and shop now, but I do buy so much more now, spend more money
Yeah.
than ever before.
Online
Yeah.
shopping went ugh.
Well, it's people realized how easy it was and how convenient it was, and it's a lot
And
better than
it's-
going to the store half the time.
And it's
So-
something to do if you're wanting to go outside. If you're a person who is going a little stir crazy,
Yeah.
that's something that can occupy some time, when you're just desperately wanting to go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
What about? I'm just gonna ask you, JP. I think out of the four of us, you're the most social.
Yeah.
for as far as like you like friends.
Sure.
You've got parties of where you.
people.
I like
JP
friend.
like friend.
I like friend.
Hi.
No.
Hi, JP. Hi, social.
I
You
like
do more
friend.
gaming.
Yep.
You do more tabletop gaming. You
Yep.
do more video game. Okay, so how has this been on you?
Hard on the gaming aspect in terms of board games, because it is really just all dependent upon the person hosting the game, the board game that
Yeah.
night. It's like, so I haven't actually done any actual board gaming, and we used to meet almost 2 to 3 times a month to play actual physical tabletop games.
Yeah.
At my friend's house, and that's been non-existent for a while now, ever since the beginning of this. So that I'm really missing that. We've seen a lot of uptick in gaming, though. I've seen a lot more friends joining online, and I'm also broadening like what I'm playing too. I usually was just kind of stuck in Call of Duty, because that's what people were playing. But now people are like, hey, let's play this basketball game. Let's try this game. Let's try that game. I was like, okay, sure. And I'm getting multiple new friends from just our own circle because they see us doing it, and they're also locked in, doing their thing. So yeah, I mean, we've seen a little bit more of that, but I do miss being able to like
Go to someone's house.
Well, that and like go to the freaking movies. You know what I mean? I want to go to the movies.
Yeah.
Like 007, I should have saw that. Like the new Daniel Craig's last James Bond movie, I should have saw that 4 months ago. But now I gotta wait, and then I don't know if I'll go to the theater to see it. Bill and Ted, like I really was excited to see Bill and Ted, but now we're gonna do a movie night at my mom's place for that, which is cool. But I really would have liked to see Bill and Ted in the theater because I'm just such a big Bill and Ted and Keanu fan.
It's funny. I was talking to a friend. I'm much more of a music guy than a movie guy.
Yeah.
And so we were talking. I want to go back into some of the sleazy clubs here in Sioux Falls and watch bands. And he's like, dude, I want to go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You guys are more you'd rather go to movies? than
I'd
music?
love to go back to the movie theater. I would love to. I mean, I should have seen Tenet by now, with Christopher Nolan's new movie.
Yep.
But I'm a huge movie guy. I'm a movie buff. I would usually at least go to the movies once a month. I'm not like saying I was there every weekend, but I at least go once a month to the movies.
Yeah.
I think the last movie I saw in theaters might have been Fury Road.
That was a while back. That was
Yeah.
what?
But to be fair, I did see it 3 times, which is the only time I have ever done that. Only movie to earn that privilege.
Honestly, that movie. If you didn't see it in the theater and you only saw it after, like on video, you're just not doing that movie justice. That movie was made for screen, like big sound.
It's like a Star Wars movie.
George Miller's vision there is just
You
fully,
guys, someday we're going to get that on IMAX.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, that would be crazy. But I mean, yeah, the film oozes chrome into your face. You know what I mean? It's just, it's great. It's a great film, and you need to see it in the theater.
Don't shame me, but my last movie I saw was Joker.
That's all right. I saw that movie. I loved it.
That was the last one I saw.
I honestly can't tell you the last one. I'm trying to think. Ooh, I honestly cannot pin down.
I love going to movies, but I think you and Brian and Derek invite me to more movies, way more movies than I actually go to. You guys are always like, we have an extra ticket. I'm like, thanks, but again, that kind of goes to my social stuff. I just rather not go anywhere.
I love going to the movies, and I'm kind of one of the weird guys too. Like I love trailers to movies. So,
I love trailers. A good trailer is a work of art.
So I don't want to miss the trailers. Like I adore assigned seating because you can get your spot and I can go to the bathroom
and you can leave. Yeah,
I can go to the bathroom and or I can just show up 2 minutes before showtime and I get to see the whole thing rather than being like, dude, I got to get there 45 minutes early, make sure I got my spot so I can watch my
your
trailers.
seats now. Yeah,
okay. The trailers are almost more important than the movie.
I'm just really enjoying that you just used the phrase "I adore assigned
seating."
I
adore assigned seating.
Here was my first experience with it in town here. My first experience with it. I'm going to the movie, and there's a gaggle of teenage people sitting in the seat that I paid for. And it's like a Tuesday, and it's, afternoon, and I'm thinking, I really don't care.
Yeah.
So I move up one row, and I move over a few seats. And then this gaggle just becomes 2 girls. Everyone else went other places. And it's just these two girls, one of whom was in the seat that I had, and they wouldn't stop. Like, I understand some
Wouldn't
talking.
stop gaggling.
Yeah, and I understand the chatter. And dudes are just as bad about it. It just so happened.
Was it an
this
empty
time.
theater too? So
It fairly, but it wasn't completely empty. There were enough people there that it was obvious, like, hey, shut up.
shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was one of my happiest moments of my life. I leaned back, and this is like 3/4 of the way into the movie. I lean back and I go, what?
Oh,
What? I couldn't hear what you said. What? I wasn't talking to you? Then shut the fuck up. I leaned forward, and it worked. I thought for sure I was going to get it worse after that. but
Or you were gonna get something thrown at you.
Yeah.
That's because it's so abrasive and so confusing. You're just like,
Yeah.
who is this stranger?
Right.
Why does
Yep.
what? And they're just now for the rest of the movie, they're just zoned out in their own mind of like,
and the thing is, I can never do that and enjoy the rest of my week.
no.
But that one time, I was like, I gave you 3/4 of the movie. I turned around. I did little, I did the
That's
shushing.
perfect. Yeah.
And then finally, I just was like, too angry.
Yeah. I won't stand
Which is
for
a
it.
problem because of how I look. I understand that. Like, I
yeah.
look like I'm the guy
I
who's
look-
going to do something, and it's like, I'm a teddy bear.
I look like a guy that murdered Jews, and people people like to tell me
didn't-
racist jokes.
Yeah,
and
I get that too. I
And
get
I'm
that
like,
too. My dad.
you are so far off.
My dad fought for the Israeli army during the Yom Kippur War, and I will get people walk up to me and tell me hardcore anti-Semitic jokes.
Yes,
Just based on how I look and think this dude's
like
gonna
they'll
love
think
it.
we'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I
is
don't
this
know.
a thing that only happens to dudes?
It happens to
happens to white guys a lot.
White guys.
Like when I used to go out to the bars, you get people who just tell you anything.
Yeah,
They don't
if you're,
care.
If you're a male,
There's no like
an adult male white guy,
Yeah.
Many people feel like the floodgates are open, especially since Donald Trump become president.
Yeah.
That's true.
yeah.
And I just
And
look at him
especially,
going,
like,
do I
if
look
you have-
like? I mean, I'm like, do I look like I
Right.
want you to tell me this?
Right.
To them, they see the tattoos, they
Yes.
see the beard,
Yep.
they see a
Me,
clear.
they see the bald head.
Yeah. And for me, they see a clear bad example of the human race, just physical specimen wise. So they assume, hey,
you know
he's
what?
part of someone that believes in the master
You
race.
fishing for compliments?
TR, you and I are.
No.
TR.
It's just
You
when
and
you
I-
see a
You look
picture
beautiful.
of
We are in the
when you
deep
see a
end.
picture of those people.
We are chubby. Okay.
Yeah, the master race people. When you see pictures of them,
Yeah, they
it's
looked
like,
better than all of us.
They look so awful, and
Yeah.
like because I'm out of shape, I think that is part of it. Where they're
Aw.
like, "He's one of us, y'all."
I think for me it's just
I never thought about body size playing into it,
I think shape plays.
but I
into it,
do
too.
agree with you about the beard and tattoos.
Yeah, and especially once you get hand tattoos. Which I
Yep.
mean, if people knew what that one meant, they would not tell me some of the jokes they're telling me.
I get a kick out of your hand. I don't feel that extreme about it.
I do.
Do you? But it's
It's a police.
It's a police reference.
issue. It's an issue.
tell her what the notes are.
Well, it's ACAB,
Okay.
which, if
All-
you're not familiar, it's
all
1312.
cops
All
are-
cops are bastards.
Oh, okay.
and
After one poisoned my dog, I was done giving him chances.
Aw.
so you have a reason.
there's a cop
Well,
that
and
poisoned
also,
your dog.
yeah, a cop, and he in uniform. My neighbors saw it, but they were never willing to testify. And in their words, he was willing to poison your sweet dog. What would he do to us?
Yeah.
What happened was they went to the wrong house to do something, and she jumped up on him. She didn't bite him or anything. She just jumped up on him like, "Hi, you're new." And then he called and made a threat. I made a report, and nothing happened. And then depressing topic. Moving forward.
Wow, we're all
okay.
We're all
It's
the
okay.
okay. Going.
I'm just like, you know,
I know. Hey, something beeped.
Yeah.
Can you hit the record button on that?
Has it been
Where is
stopping?
it? Right.
Okay.
You did it. Has.
Did we miss anything? Did we lose
No,
Just TR.
it just turned off. I don't know. That's the newest one I got, and I think there might be a problem with it or
It
something.
might be like might think there's an inactivity or something. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I'll figure it out.
might even have a set timer or something.
No,
Weird.
I mean, obviously, if we can get a little political, obviously, I think there's been a lot of abuse from police officers, but do I think all cops are bad? No. You
No.
know.
No, and I believe
and
you
I
can.
don't believe on a personal level that each and every cop is a bastard.
Yeah.
But I do believe that the current system right now does not allow police to be their best selves.
No.
I think it forces them to be far from their best selves. And I think it's a shame what it's doing to them
I
as
think
well as us.
the career, the way it's structured right now, kills the guy, kills the man or
Yeah.
woman. For
It changes the person
Yeah.
quite a bit. I've known a few people who became cops, and after the training, it was,
it's like the Marines.
why am I your enemy?
Yeah. There
The
goes
battery
camera.
must be dead on that camera.
Oh.
Do you want me
Yeah.
to hit it again?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, as you're saying that, it reminds me very much of a certain industry I'm familiar with.
I was going to ask you about that, but I didn't want to.
What
I didn't
industry
know how
do
to-
we speak of?
Comic book industry.
Comic
Comics.
book.
I was like,
industry.
what? I was like,
Yeah.
wait, really
We're talking
confused for a second.
Comicsgate
I hear
kind
you,
of thing?
Comicsgate. And
No, not in general. I was
Comicsgate
just
is-
in that it's such a meat grinder. Comics.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
It's, that it's impossible to make anything good in the time frame and for the pay you're given most of the time. Like
He's gotta
I've
go
had some.
so quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had some good experiences, but like if you're in my camp, in the camp of like some other people I've been talking to, we're in it for art. Like we want to make good things, and there's no way we can make good things in the time and for the pay we're given.
under
That's the heartbreaking part.
under like a company flag.
Yeah, in many cases, like I had a very good experience with Aftershock. Like I was able to set my own schedule, and I was
Yeah.
actually able to be, and I was even generous with it for myself because that was very early on. And I was very nervous, so I gave myself actually more time than I needed.
Sure.
But in so many cases, you just don't have that privilege, and you see these books. Like I don't know if everyone has this, but when you draw, or at least as much as you do in this industry, you can get the impression from the page, and you can look at a page and tell if the artist liked it or if they were rushing. You can read the emotion off it, sort of.
Uh-huh.
And I pick up so many books that are like, oh, this person was miserable,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just heartbreaking.
And I had a question that I wasn't sure how to bring up with you because there's been a whole bunch of stuff coming out on how certain freelancers have been treated by bigger names. And things have been coming out real shocking, bad things. I'm hoping you haven't had any experiences like that.
I've had I will say up front, like I'm not great at keeping up with this stuff. I apologize to the world in general. So
But on the flip side, you're working, so
Yeah.
well, exactly.
you have a
Also-
great reason.
I mean, that's
It
sort of
also
like
helps
my.
preserve
Yeah.
your sanity.
Okay.
I hope so.
So, have you felt anything about being a woman not getting the jobs you want unless you've been pressured in some way? Is what, like,
Well, no, just because there has been different pressures on women
Yeah.
and different expectations. And on top of that, there has also been the horrific stuff coming out about what's being done, not to people's
Oh.
careers, but to them emotionally and physically.
like the sexual exploitation kind of stuff. And
There's a lot of that. And there's also a lot of, I'm just not going to give you a word. I'm not going to give you work, sugar tits type of stuff. And for hearing from like Colleen Dorian,
yeah.
hearing stuff that she was saying. I was saying this 25 years ago and no one wanted to listen, so I'm not going to repeat myself. And going back and looking at some of the things that got her in a little bit of trouble.
And she was right on.
Yeah, she was saying exactly what happened to her.
Yep.
So
and it matches up with what's going on
yeah,
today.
with the things that are being discovered now. And some of the names that you hate to hear.
I know.
And then some of the names where you're like, well, Cyberfrog sucks anyway. Which, okay, I've mentioned this before, but it's the most beautiful thing to happen. Gail Simone did on Twitter a big, if you're a comic writer or someone in the industry, sell an original piece that means a lot to you. And instead of them giving you the money, they donate it to one of these organizations. This is when the protests were really kicking off. And someone took an original Cyberfrog page with the only caveat that the proceeds had to go to specifically BLM. Which I thought was so great. There's another guy who finds them in quarter bins, so he'll get it for a quarter, sell the issue online for like $100, and give the difference to the Trevor Project.
There you go.
Like, what a beautiful way to give someone the finger.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest issues that you're seeing more and more of this come out is there's a lot more platform for people to speak out about it now.
Yeah.
Like everybody
Yes.
has an outlet, you know.
None of this stuff is new. Like
No,
all
no.
of this stuff has always been going on.
Yeah.
Right. But I look at technology, I look at social media, I look at all this as a little bit more of a positive thing. I embrace a lot of the social media. I'm definitely careful about what I post and because I have the overall like foresight to go, what am I putting out there?
Oh, yeah.
How can this be construed and used against me in a way? Even when we do this podcast, you know, like if there's something that I don't like that we talk about, and it's happened, and it's not like
It was
you and
usually my fault.
it's not like you or me or
No. It's usually been me where he's like, Tyler, take that out. That has to come out.
I remember that. Oh, I remember one time that happened. That was really funny.
I'm pretty sure I wasn't too happy about it too.
No, this one, the one I'm remembering, it was you went, oh shit, serious? And then you burst out laughing.
Oh no, there was another one where JP said this is coming out, guys, and I'm going, are you kidding? And you were like, no, I don't want this.
yeah.
So I edited it out, but no, it's usually because and that's the problem with me being in a public job, that I can't put everything I want to put about my views on Black Lives Matter and my views on masks and all the stuff like that. And I mean, because what I do put is as far as I'm willing to push it with the job I have. I work in a very conservative school district.
Yeah.
And I have I'm looking out for you. I'm looking out for our podcast. And my thing is like, I don't want that one thing that we said or like whatever to be the thing that people get hung up on, because 99% of our episodes are usually solid content of just having fun and hanging out. But those one people that hear that one thing are just going to hang on it.
Yeah, because
then they're just going to hang.
We
on
don't
it.
fit their politics.
Exactly, and it's stupid. And you know, we can always hit the mute button on them, but I just don't even like to give people the excuse to try to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
And like, it's not, I think you're not very active, Clara, on Twitter.
I really don't Twitter.
Just like me, I hate Twitter.
It's a tire fire.
It is. Twitter is where so many people go to deliberately misunderstand something so that they can get offended.
Yes.
That's why Donald Trump likes it so much, because
Yeah.
he can put himself out there saying exactly what he thinks and then say, I didn't mean that. Or, you
Yeah.
read that wrong. Or,
I have been bumping this mic because I can't see it because of this mask.
back it up. Your voice carries good. Back it up like 4 inches.
Yeah, you sound better than any of us. You're good.
you're good.
In the cans, you sound great.
What can I say? My voice has been. What was it you wanted me to say as Professor X? There was something real creepy.
It's in a different comic book. It's a dialogue that I think would be hilarious if you did it in the comic book,
Or in
Professor
the-
X.
So we've been
Or the
reviewing the cartoon X-Men the animated series from '92,
Lovely.
and that's where we got the idea for the T-shirt. As I was doing an impression of
Where
one
it
of the
says,
Sentinels.
the one that John was wearing, that said,
Stay calm. We're
"Stay
here
calm.
for
We're
your
here for your protection."
Stay calm. We are here for your protection.
Yes, the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
And I do enough jackass. Like, they're almost close enough. You can tell what I'm going for, I think, is basically how well I do.
Your words are almost right, but they're just like not quite.
Yeah,
like,
it's not. It's you know what I'm
okay.
going for.
Xavier in the comic book or a cartoon, he's always going, "I'm in your mind."
Feel me in your mind.
He's very creepy.
Yeah.
Let me be your eyes.
Anyway, so in
Absorb what Cerebro knows. And these are like the first 2 episodes.
anyway,
And it's just
so
like, I don't want you in my mind.
there's this whole monologue in a recent X-Men comic that I wanted TR to read in cartoon Xavier's voice.
We'll get it done.
Yeah,
It'll be great.
I think it would be really fun.
I think the funnest one to do voice-wise, though,
Was
is
Wolverine
Yeah.
when he freaked out over Scott and Jean?
Yeah.
The Wolverine from the comic book is like, or from the, why do I keep saying comic book? The cartoon is,
He's a guy who they should have gotten someone with a gruff voice already, but then they got a regular dude, and they went, make your voice gruff.
Hey,
Oh, no.
can you do a gruff?
Yeah, so instead
Yeah,
of...
I can do a gruff.
So instead of like a Will Arnett, where Will Arnett, he just sort of talks like this is
Yeah.
just like
They
so they got
voice.
someone who talks a lot like this.
It's like a high pitched.
It
Yeah.
was like
it was so over the top. I'm
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
and Sabretooth.
Sabretooth is worse.
Saber.
I go where I want to go. Yeah, it's bad.
Beautiful.
And-
That is beautiful.
It's 90s video game biker. Like,
Well, the funny thing is, we've been promoting it on Twitter. the creators of the show,
They've been interacting with us.
What?
Here's the thing:
That's amazing.
I've not encouraged them to listen because
we
we are
really rip on it.
cynical assholes. We are assholes.
Okay, by now they know.
That's what I said.
They know. They get it.
It came out in 1992.
Anything that old is fair game.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, though, is because we have mentioned like
like
that
making
show
fun of the
got me
haircuts in the
into
80s.
comics.
Yeah. So many people.
Anyway,
we owe
so,
them.
So some
Which
of the
that reminds me, before I forget, just because I was thinking visual video stuff, are you still doing on Instagram because I used to go on all the time and see you live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is so relaxing and awesome to watch.
It is
Aw.
like it
Yes,
is Bob
guys.
Ross level.
Really?
Honestly, for real.
Just watching your hand on that white paper.
Yes.
I'm not
Aw.
kidding.
Clara Meath,
Not
go
sound-
to her.
not to
What
sound
is your
creepy,
Instagram?
But I sit there and
No,
just
I
watch
get
your
it.
hands.
It just, it's me, so I can't have an accurate assessment of it.
It's
Because all I know is
so
how,
great.
like, on this side of the camera, it's kind of nerve wracking. I will
'Cause-
say that.
really?
I
So-
gotta amp myself up to do that.
For those that haven't watched, it is Clara's workstation, her paper or her screen, and then your hands,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the fact that it's not,
It's visual ASMR.
Thank you.
I agree. I will sit and just go, oh.
Yeah.
It's just like
There have been times when I still had an Instagram account where I would log in, see that you were live, and just put that on.
Yep.
And then, like, just play with the dogs and, like,
I always have my phone.
Well, I put them on YouTube now, too. I've started,
Do you?
So you could, there's a couple on there. I'm not very good at updating it,
Let's
but yeah.
let's get your YouTube out for people.
Just
Shameless
Clara
plug
Meath?
time.
I think it's just Clara Meath.
And then Instagram, is it at
My Instagram is Clara_Meath. I have a fairly
Clara_.
uncommon name. So if you just search my name, you'll
M-E-A-T-H,
find
right?
it. Yes, MEATH.
not Sarah Meeks?
No.
No, that was
Stop, you're muddying the waters.
the funny thing is, and I've said this to her before, my niece's name is Clara, and I still couldn't remember her.
Wow. It just shows the familial love that you have.
I know.
So I have less time to do like tuning into a lot of live streams because I'm busy.
Yeah.
But I
'Cause
actually
you've got a life.
I actually enjoy your time lapses because those
are
are
fun too,
Well,
yeah.
for a digital age and a modern age, they're just edible and they're bite sized,
Mm-hmm.
and I can watch it and you can get 10 minutes of work, which you say this was 10 minutes
Right.
of work in 2, and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
Yep.
I started
Sweet.
putting that in
Click,
when
click.
people did not understand that it was time lapse.
They
they're like, damn, you draw so
Yeah,
fast.
they thought I was drawing like that. It's like, no, honey.
They thought
Her lines are so smooth.
That
There were
reminds
people
me.
that thought that.
Wow.
I mean,
Because-
you can be that far removed from a certain
Yes, you
activity
can.
that you don't understand.
'Cause
That.
if you-
I can sympathize with
For
that.
somebody that doesn't draw and they don't know the pains to pull a line and straight, and it's one, you don't do it in chunks, and you can do that. You can't do that with speed. You know.
No.
No, you can't.
Now, I remember seeing that you were having problems with paintbrushes
Yeah,
or
the
pens or
the brush quality, unfortunately, I've been using the Kalinsky brushes all the way back to college, and the quality has been going down because, unfortunately, the endangered weasel is increasingly endangered.
So they don't get the brush.
It's just not as good quality, and I think it was a rough winter, stuff like that. It's been going down gradually, and I think it's more the way I use it because I'm a very fine brushwork kind of person. Now, I know plenty of people who still use it, and they're not having any problems with it, but, stylistically, we all use them differently. So I have been diversifying in a way that I thought was going to be very traumatic because I've pretty much relied on that tool my whole career thus
And
far.
you're 100% used to it. How it
Exactly.
works, how it flows, how it feels.
Yeah. But as it turns out, it's been just fine. I got a couple of professionals who stepped in and recommended things for me and helped
Yeah.
me
And
out.
it worked
So
well.
it's been going fine, and my work is
What
like
are the brushes made of now? Because with my fine art painting that I
Mm-hmm.
do, I usually only use hog's hair with my brushes, but I don't know. Do you like?
We mean, what am I using now?
Yeah,
This is
what's
a
the name?
combination of things. I use more pens and brush
Oh, do
pens
you?
and stuff like that. Yeah, more about the pens now.
Yeah,
It's working.
Brush quality is huge. I mean, I do miniature paintings, like
Right.
figures, and I can tell you...
You probably use the Kalinskis for those too. That's
Well,
like the main thing they're for.
And I can tell you the first time I use a brush, and I can tell you if I've used it before. Like, you know what I mean? On
Oh,
a figure,
yeah.
but after. It's like, it's not as
Right.
pinpoint. It's not as...
Like it was.
You know
You know.
how to use that brush like it's your own hand.
Yeah.
And you know
Yeah.
exactly the pressure to lay down just if you just want those highlights or if you really want to get deep in the cracks.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
But yeah, I can totally attest to that. This is like, you get shell shock because you're like, oh God, I don't even want to put the brush to this because I'm like, I don't know how to look. I don't know how to perform. I don't know how to, if I can control
every
the
stroke
same.
I do is aging this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
with print, I do a lot of printmaking, and so I usually have a dump one where it's my first one, and I'll just run it just to get the ink through the paper.
Yeah.
You know, and then throw it away or put it to the side and use it for I call it my dump one. I don't really know what it's called, but
Just throw away. Just like
throw away
you
one.
throw away the
Practice.
first pancake, man.
Your warm up.
yeah. Anywho, so anything? What are you reading? Like, do you read comics, Clara? I know that's such a weird question for
Yeah,
I know.
so
creators.
don't put her on the spot, because what if the answer is no? The question that was asked, in case anyone missed it, is how are you feeling today?
I said, what are you reading?
Listen, you and me are going to have a talk when this is over.
Gentlemen, I have an answer to the question. It's okay.
I got it.
I mean, obviously not as much as I should, but I think any comic artist you talk to will say that, unfortunately.
That's weird. I mean, when to a layman,
Because we don't have any time.
No time.
to the layman though, you're like, oh, you're into comics. You must read everything.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Nope, don't have time to.
Yeah, no.
But you've been picking up Black Hammer series, right?
I have.
Because Jeff Lemire is awesome.
Sometimes.
Shut up.
Yes, that was recommended to me. Should I do my pile?
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do this.
Should I start with? I will start with these ones you guys said I could do because I will be. By
Do
the time
whatever
I
you
get
want.
to the bottom, I will be awkward.
You can-
So I
nope,
brought
you can
some
start
of my
wherever
new
you want.
prints. This is my newest. This is my newest little one. This is my small Yoda.
Love it.
These are my postcard size prints. This is the only one.
And this way, I'll get them in front of this
All of
camera
the
while you
cameras.
talk.
Those are usually just like headshots, if you remember my little prints. But
Mm-hmm.
I did that little Yoda. I think that was one of my first.
I don't have my glasses on. Is that watercolor?
No, it's just digital.
Oh,
I don't
digital
know.
print.
I don't
Okay.
know how to do traditional color. Unfortunately, I never did that.
I think digital is.
Okay, I believe you
I think digital is a medium
You
that's
should
not
hire
used
me.
enough.
I said, for those that aren't listening.
for the colors.
Yeah.
I had and I think that one was one of my first. I think that was my very first Instagram auction. I've started doing.
Yes, it was.
I love that you remember and I don't.
I got a steel trap.
We are all her like almost. We chronicle her whole career.
Yes.
Between the three of us, we're like, what's Clara doing? It's kind of creepy.
I got a journal.
Yeah, I got a journal.
At 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. I watched the time lapse.
She launched this.
It
Yes.
was posted on July 7th.
Yes, I launch things at 2 a.m. all the time.
That's not true, but
You know, okay. You know what it feels like. You know that episode, one of the episodes of The Big Bang Theory, when Penny goes into the comic book store. That's kind of like poor Clara. She's just like, a girl. Hi, welcome.
that happened at first.
Yeah.
But even in recent years, it doesn't happen anymore. So I appreciate that.
I'm just kidding.
I know. I just had to be genuine about that for a
That's
second.
annoying, though, that it did happen. That
Well,
bums me out.
I mean, here's what, moving back on sort of Comicsgate stuff a little bit, I remember, like, I was right at a moment entering the industry where I really saw the switch starting to happen. I remember even in college when I first went into, when I started taking my sequential art classes, there was this assumption like, now this is a boys' club, you got to be prepared for this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And even by the time I graduated, people weren't saying that anymore. So it was
The time of change. I mean, like,
Well, there used to be a complete and utter, just nerd culture, and nerd was the dirty word. You know what I mean? Like nerds. Come on, man! You play D&D and video games, like you're not cool.
Yeah.
But there's been a complete and utter shift in that, and where nerd it used to be counterculture. Comics used to be counterculture.
Right.
They used to be the stuff you didn't really be proud of. You weren't walking around with your Iron Man book,
No.
reading it in high
at
school.
15 years old, you kept
Yeah,
that.
but
quiet.
now comics are culture. Comics are the new medium. Comics are what's cool. You playing D&D? Oh, that's cool. Can I play? Can,
D&D is super mainstream. It's
Yeah.
a very normal thing.
But I think it's just people's
Everybody who
imagine.
knows what rolling a natural 20 means.
I know you could make a joke about rolling
Yeah,
a nat
Like
20.
I've never played D&D, but I
But
know
you know what it means.
Yeah,
Right.
I understand the jokes.
Crit!
It's part of the zeitgeist.
Right, yes.
I really think it's just people's imaginations and people's feelings of fun have been suppressed for too long and have been forced into what is mainstream and what is quote unquote cool. And now people have just been a little bit more let off the leash and like, unplug for a little bit and have some fun with a sit-down board game. It's like a tactile thing, and then
Yeah.
using your mind in a different way than just like I'm processing data to make money in my 40-hour-a-week job. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I really think it's just been that, and people just getting back to basics, and that is what comics and board games and video games are. Is just back to basics of having fun and like being just an Imagineer again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like reliving those moments.
Oh yeah, it was kind of funny because I was reading comic books not too long ago for this show.
Okay.
And my
What?
my
How dare you?
My wife's daycare kids come up to me and they're, "Can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "I'm actually working right now." And they're like, they just keep talking. They're like 4.
I'm
like,
busy.
I need to know what the Hulk's about to do. Can you shut up?
That has been one of the great things for joining for me is the free stuff that artists will give us.
Oh yeah, you.
I told you how to get to it because we have someone that is interested in being on the show who we've talked to someone that he's worked with.
Nathan
before.
Kelly's writer,
Bob Sally.
Bob Sally.
Yep. He.
Oh yeah, I know Bob.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. His current series, Broken Gargoyles. Mm-hmm. Have you? Well, obviously, I'm assuming you haven't. But
I have not.
Oh man.
He just sent TR some of the proofs, and
Yeah, he
I
sent
haven't
me
read
the
them
first 2 issues, but it's sent in a way that all you have to do is log into the
yet. Google.
thing.
Yeah, I will check him out, and because I haven't read it yet. Do you know the artist who it is on there?
Oh shit.
Well, what do you think? Clara, you got
Yeah.
more stuff.
I have some more stuff here.
Yeah. Let's,
Yeah, we are probably going to have a longer episode for those that are listening.
But of course, 150.
This is our 150. We are at our normal mark right now. So
Nice.
Those on tuning into our YouTube channel, just a reminder: this is our 150th episode. Thanks for watching.
So we earned this long episode.
We
damn
did.
right.
We did. We thought, just to recap, bring our old friend Clara back in and let's just have fun.
I can cut this short though if
No,
No,
please.
no.
Okay, all right.
No.
No.
I just
Right,
wanted
leave me alone.
to. We're shifters, and we just once the snowball, and they're just like, oh my god!
Yeah.
Remember that one time that the Mummy movie with Brendan? So continue with your pile,
Remember
please.
Hollywood?
Yeah, exactly.
So we talked about this one being one of the first auction pieces I did. I have a few more of the auction pieces I ended up doing. The Blade Runner piece,
Which is a beautiful piece, Blade Runner. I love.
which got way out of hand.
How so?
So I
Just
didn't.
time wise, or what?
Well, all the perspective and constructing the building and all that. If you
Okay.
look back at my Instagram, you can see some of the work that went into just constructing that very wide perspective, and there was just a lot of
And you
work
have the
in that
beautiful
one.
quote from Rutger Hauer
Yes.
playing the android.
Yes. Obviously, everyone's favorite scene from Blade Runner. I've been wanting to do that one for a while. So
Well-
I auctioned that one, and it went very well. So I colored it and printed it and sold some prints on that one.
I like it. I think it captures that scene beautifully, and
I think so.
and it's instantly recognizable if you're a Blade Runner fan.
Right.
You're
and
not
baffling if you're anyone else.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. And Blade Runner is kind of becoming a little bit of a dated reference. And I think the 2049 Blade Runner, I think is a superior film, just because it just makes a little bit more sense than that first one.
Depends what you're in it for. But yeah, I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
absolutely. But I think Blade Runner is just one of those awesome things that people need to see and look out for. What is it about Blade Runner that you like? What draws you to it?
the umbrellas.
I
The
like.
Can
umbrellas.
I see it?
Yes, please.
I often find myself liking something that is honestly very light in plot, so you can really dig into the characters. And I think Harrison Ford's performance is very interesting. It's just it's it's quietly nuanced.
The whole film is quietly nuanced.
Yes, and obviously very visually beautiful, and
Yeah.
Rutger Hauer in particular just does such an amazing job. You feel so much when he dies. Which I think is the strength of a movie like that, to make you feel so much for, an android. And the point of this whole thing was that these people aren't actual humans.
Right.
And that you can still be made to feel those feelings as like, oh, right, this is how humans work, which is sort of the point of the movie. I enjoy that.
Breaking down the psyche of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's Philip K. Dick's original novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, is a great way to put that into perspective of what that story is really all about.
Yeah.
So moving on, though.
Very
moving
classic. And speaking of sci-fi classics,
There you go.
this was the most recent auction piece I did. I colored this one before auctioning it, but
Boom,
yeah.
ba, ba, bum, the xenomorph from
The
Alien.
little kitty cat.
The
With a kitty.
arguably the greatest creature design of all time.
I love it.
H.R. Giger, I mean,
It's-
Geiger,
you know-
Giger, how do you say it?
Have you watched that documentary on him that Netflix had?
No, because he
No.
creeps me out.
Okay, so
Oh, he's very. This is
It's
his
very-
famous work by
you
far.
guys-
I know.
Yeah, so-
I know. He creeps me out.
I think it's Geiger. In the movie, it was Geiger.
Yeah.
And, this is just prior to his death. And it's really compelling. I mean, he's just an old hermit.
Right.
That
He was a strange individual.
that
Yes.
designs very sexually explicit stuff into all of his stuff. I mean, the
Some of
xenomorph
the
there
stuff
with
that,
the
like,
Yeah.
if you are not
Like, is that
comfortable-
legal?
If
Yeah.
you're not comfortable with your sexuality,
or just body
don't
image.
Google that name.
So Korn, the band, had
Falling away.
they had a. Well, I bring it up because they had a
His
microphone
mic stand, yeah.
commissioned by Geiger, and the stand itself was a woman. She's holding the mic. That's the holder, and then so the stand itself is her bust, and it looks really cool, but yet creepy. It looks like a woman being tortured almost.
Yeah, and I think arguably he's probably the godfather of like biomechanical kind of,
Yes.
Yeah.
he really invented that genre. I don't
know-
think before him there was many people doing stuff like that.
His stuff also had a lot of influence for Cannibal Corpse album
Yep.
covers.
And
I'm sure it
do you know
did.
the tattoo artist Paul Booth?
Yeah.
I mean, his stuff is really inspired by Geiger. as
Yeah.
well. And although his is more demons and devils. And,
Yeah.
What is next, Clary? You have more stuff.
I wanted to recommend a few things, talk about what I've been reading. I have not had the privilege of reading either of these two yet, but I recently discovered what I would consider the most overlooked artist in comics right now, I think.
Wow.
Mike Mignola?
No. No, that's not his problem. Zach Howard, who illustrated this Return of Effie Kolb,
Yep. That's a great
Hellboy
issue.
Arc. I said Arch.
Arch.
The
St. Louis
Cape.
Arch.
He also did Wild Blue Yonder. I'm blanking right now, but he did a number of other things.
And you discovered him how?
I discovered him from the recommendation of a fan, and we have actually had the privilege to become friends.
Nice.
I genuinely cannot say I can think of a better artist working right now in the industry.
Wow.
Wow.
Bold claims.
I'm here to make those.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with
blown
that.
away
I
consistently.
bought that Effie Kolb issue not too long ago. It's really good, too. The story's good.
Yeah.
On top of the art.
And what is it about his art that you enjoy?
He's a very good visual storyteller, but he's also he's just a master. He's one of these ones who genuinely cares so much about being an artist and excellence and constantly improving. He doesn't want to coast. He has
Doesn't phone it in.
Yes, he absolutely does not. He has almost a pathological aversion to any kind of coasting or phoning it in. He's very genuine, and he's an excellent artist and craftsman.
I would say all of those things are exactly the same about you in terms of your work ethic.
That's why we get along.
Exactly, right? Like, I think those are all qualities that you have, too,
The
because you're
cape-
just a
Thank you.
workhorse.
The cape
and
right
yeah.
there looks similar to your art. I mean, it's not...
It's very. I think we both sprung off of Gabriel Rodriguez quite a bit.
Sure.
That's a great panel. Great.
Yeah, like he's amazing. It's amazing, and he does a lot of live streams too. If you follow his art page.
Well, I haven't looked into his art, but I definitely will. But like I said, I think those comparisons can be drawn for him and you. Is you love the craft to almost a fault, where it's just you will just lock yourself in and just work, which to your benefit, because you can just crank out work and get things done. Like you said, you worked at Aftershock and you gave yourself more time than you needed, but you were just like, I'm done, baby.
Taking a step back to Scout Comics, you have Shadowplay coming out on Wednesday, right?
Yes, I definitely knew that.
Yes.
I only drew it.
Yes. All right. She's
not in charge when it
That
releases.
issue was done so long
As
ago.
the
I
guy-
just
With
forgot.
everything that happened,
as,
I'm
the-
sure.
as one of the guys that love like that kind of weird minutia of information, I'm pretty right. Tiara, did you see that Shadowplay comes out this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just making sure I'm not like way off.
No, that's what I remember saying.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, you have an issue coming out on Wednesday.
Yes.
So how long? What is the lead time on that? How long ago did you do it?
I finished that one. I'm terrible with these timelines. It was definitely at least months ago.
Okay. What's the difference between like Scout Comics and Aftershock? They treat you differently as far as
I have not interacted with anyone at Scout. I do it all through the writer Richard Rivera.
Yep.
He's the one he pays me personally, and then it goes through Scout. So I have honestly, like, I wish I had something to say, but I have not interacted with Scout at all.
Okay.
Which almost makes your job
To your
easier.
benefit.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
You just work, yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
But Aftershock's been great.
Yeah, Aftershock's been great. Yeah, they've been very supportive. They've been very interested in working with me further. We just got to like work something out. So I love working with Aftershock.
That's good because I think as far as like an independent, more horror oriented. I don't know if they're going to do strictly horror, but seems to be that's all they've been doing.
They do a lot. They do some sci-fi stuff too.
Yeah,
Some
but I mean,
but it does tend to lean towards the darker side.
Nothing too mainstream
No.
or light. It's dark stuff.
But they're not interested in that, and that's what I think makes them unique.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like from them, remember Dark Ark?
Yeah, that one was not. That I was not
And I
a
like
fan.
Cullen Bunn.
I have the kind of same relationship with Cullen Bunn that I have with Jeff Lemire, where I'm like, yay, nay. Like,
As an artist,
Can't win all of them.
no, not at all.
do you-
And I don't fault the writers for that or people for that. There's just some work where I'm just like, nope, don't like that.
do you like Jeff Lemire's art?
I try to like things for their merits and not like make personal style comparisons.
Yeah.
That would be like saying, you only like people who look like you. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Yep.
What's
I
wrong
try
with
to
that?
find the
See,
appreciation.
I
in
love,
like,
I love
We're
that.
all
Why do you
we
think-
look so much like you? That's why we're your friends.
Why do you
See?
think I hang out with JP all the time?
Yeah.
People constantly confuse us for each other.
You're like
All the time.
twins.
Constant. I don't know which one I'm talking to half the time.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm TR.
I'm the other one. Is that his line?
I do,
Yeah.
I
I'm the
don't
other
sign off correctly.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I forgot.
Did you have anything
Jeff
else?
Lemire?
she's got.
I had a few more recommendations.
I'll
Actually,
shut up.
speaking
I'll shut
on
up
Jeff
about
Lemire.
Yes,
Jeff Lemire.
speaking on Jeff Lemire. I was recently turned on to Black Hammer. I know the deconstruction of the superhero genre is not really a new idea, but this seemed like
Didn't they do a really good job with that though?
yeah. This was amazing. There were many moments when I was genuinely when you're like alone in your home reading and you're like
Yeah.
And you have no one to talk to about it.
Yeah.
You're like, damn it.
and you start talking out, you start telling your dishes as you're washing them how well this went. Yeah.
Can you believe that plate?
So this is volume 3. This is
Yep.
volume 3 even that I have. This is my personal one. I definitely recommend this.
Yeah.
I was delighted by it so far.
I think the storytelling in it is great. Have you read it, TR?
I haven't yet.
Okay, so take the superhero trope and they tell it in a completely different way, and it brings new life into it, and it's not boring.
I
and
think
it's full of surprises. Like there's a genuine mystery where you're like, I want to know
What
what is going on and what happened.
why
You
are
have
these-
to tell me.
So the plot is this: they're stuck on a farm. They can't seem to leave this farm. That's these group of superheroes. From there, you learn about everything else.
What was that movie, The Prisoner?
prisoner.
But the show?
Are there giant bubbles?
You're
that
talking
people-
about the show,
Yeah,
The
the
Prisoner,
show.
with Patrick McGowan.
Yep.
No.
Are there giant balloons
There are
that
not.
stop
No.
people? Interest level exceeded then.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know
we
this
all
show.
understand your fascination with giant balloons.
From the prisoner.
yes.
The prisoner.
I'm not a number. I'm a man.
No, I'm a free
I'm
man.
a free man. Except I'm not. I'm number 5.
Yeah, they can get to the small town near the farm.
Wasn't he 6? You are number 6.
I thought he was the new number 5.
Was he? Maybe that was later.
You
I'm just
are the
remembering
new-
it from
Yeah.
the opening credits.
Yeah.
I've not
that
watched a single
huge-
minute of this. Never seen it.
Me either.
Oh, you guys haven't.
He was producing and writing that and everything. He did
Yeah,
everything.
that was his Madman's dream.
Yeah. He was really good in his time. He was such
Yeah.
a weirdo. He was one of those he's in that category with the really intense, scary ones.
Like Stanley Kubrick. and-
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Love me some Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Yeah, you're
good.
a Kubrick fan.
Yeah. Clockwork Orange is my favorite movie for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the ultraviolence.
No, I
Because of
think
the
it's
ununderstandable banter?
Kind of.
no. I
But
actually
it's more about
it's
the
that's
psychological.
elegant to me. Like I love. It's like Shakespeare drawn through a bloody, muddy, just urban ditch. You know what I
get
mean?
that.
I do agree with like the way it's told.
The NAD set that he created is once you learn it and you know it, because like that was kind of the fascination with me. I was in high school and I read the book, but I didn't understand it fully because I didn't know NAD set. But then you go and you go and you do your research and you figure out the words and the meanings, and you can kind of like decipher. It's almost like you speak a different language now, and you're in a different wavelength when you're reading that book. And then
it's like reading Tolkien. I mean, you have to almost have a dictionary.
Yeah, and the film, I just think it's it almost kind of has a little bit of a Blade Runner comparison because it's just
Because this is meandering art piece, sort of.
a little bit, but it's also an exploration into humans and how they work, and also it's the act.
How far they will go.
Well, the act of what makes a man. That's breaking down the title of Clockwork Orange, because a Clockwork Orange is basically something mechanical that does the same thing over and over, but is juicy and sweet. So, but breaking that down to a person is like is true choice of good and evil. Can a man who has the moral compass to actively choose, is he a good man on a compass, or does the act of good being imposed on a person, imposed on them, they can only do good? Well, that removes them from even being a human being, even being a person. You become an automaton. You know what I mean? In the film, he can't even defend himself. Like, he gets this treatment done, and he gets just absolutely battered because he has no choice. And there's so the removal of choice just completely
And that gets into
dehumanizes the person.
philosophical and theological debates as well.
Yeah. That's what I love about it.
I agree with you. It's bizarre, it's creepy, but there is something beautiful about it too.
And you can go just so far down the rabbit hole with it, and you can get into these theocratical talks about the film. But and it's just an awesome movie to watch too. It's just visually, and the soundtrack is I'll never forget. Beethoven for me doesn't go to like classical music. It goes to that and like Singing in the Rain.
Yep,
that's wrecked for me for life.
Yeah.
But in a great way. I'm like, oh man, it's just But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, that was my soapbox on that film.
Good box. My last one, just real quick.
Great
I
pick.
feel like
Akira.
I should not have to recommend this to
No, you
anyone.
shouldn't.
Oh,
No.
so good.
I just want to reiterate, I'm reading these again since I think the last time was in college. These are so good, you guys.
Yeah.
If you haven't read this, read it. If you have read it, read it again.
And these omnibus editions are so nice because they include so much.
Yes.
And, what's that one, like $20-$30?
Oh, well, I mean, I got this used. You can get all kinds of used books on Amazon. This is probably like $8 or something.
I would recommend finding them used because they do become a little bit of a chore. They can be expensive because there's a lot of content there. That's not a light read either.
No, like I was just saying, it's the big chunky
Yeah.
version.
Yep. That's not a book you take lightly, like walk into like, I'm going to see how I like this for the first volume. No, you really got to invest a little bit into it.
Yeah, it's not a light, easy read like Tuesdays with Maury.
Yep.
This is literature.
Yes, it truly is.
There is some of the stuff that is coming out in manga form and stuff like that book PTSD.
Now, people are going to shred you. It's pronounced manga.
Yeah, I was going to... Oh, no.
Because I've worked many a convention.
Here's the
thing. Do you have any manga?
I know how to defend myself. I can kick the shit out of any one of you. Come on.
Oh, I thought it was going to be something about sitting in a theater.
Nope.
Brad Pitt said it in this movie. It's manga.
I got dogs that are big and they look vicious and they will lick you in the face.
I'm just saying.
Not my face.
I'm just saying, anime fans, manga fans, they will correct you.
All right. Well, I would apologize, but I don't care.
American comic book lovers would say the same thing if you call it trade paperback. That's not a graphic novel.
Yeah, I hear
No,
you.
that's
I hear you.
Oh, see, I guess that's the thing. I guess I don't care.
We're
enough
guilty of it
about
though.
that stuff.
We call issues episodes all the time, like
I
we're
know.
watching a TV show. Like
Yeah.
in this episode of this book.
I know.
It's episodic.
It is episodic.
But you
It's
know what?
episodic storytelling. Yes.
I read recently the official term for comic books are floppies.
Yes.
Yeah, floppies. Yeah,
I do
I've
call
heard
them
that.
floppies sometimes.
I didn't even know that.
makes sense though.
I started doing that when I was talking about digital versus non-digital.
Sure,
when I
that
did
makes sense because then you can
YouTube
be
thing.
like,
Yeah.
because it technically is the issue reading it online, but in my brain, issue pertains to paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Print.
It's the issue online, but also you don't own it. There's a whole video. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, TR has problems with digital comics.
The thing is,
I do too.
I
I'm
was
not a fan.
reading.
Then you're not going to like the
I'm
future of
not either.
DC right now.
I read Avengers versus X-Men entirely digitally, almost exclusively on my phone.
Yeah,
The 0.5 issues that they did were just to show off the possibilities for the digital medium.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now that's why I'm mad at digital comics. Because the amount that could have been done that would not have been this massive extra strain on the artists, these little tweaks that they could have done for digital only, especially now that they're making a bunch of comics digital only. The stuff that they could put in, the potential there is so huge, and they're just letting us down.
Well, and I think there's a spot for digital comics. It depends on.
This from the comic book retailer. You think
Yeah.
there's a spot for digital comics?
There's a spot, but there's getting into it. Like we interviewed a guy, a creator who
Yep.
did a digital comic, but they did the digital comic to be digital and be read digitally.
They wrote it to be a digital comic,
and the
which
way
made
it
a
was,
difference.
and the way it was presented was
Yes.
really cool and a great idea.
Yeah.
And that was
That's
a place
exactly
for that.
what those 0.5 issues were.
But I think I'm being devil's advocate. I'd love to sell print comics all day long, but I think in a standpoint of launching something new or trying something out, digital, and this is why DC's going to do this. I don't agree with it, but they're basically just fielding ideas for free, seeing the interest, gauging the interest,
Yep.
and going, okay, we had 200,000 downloads of this. We could sell 100,000 print. Ooh, we only had 10,000 downloads of that. Scrap that, Joe. Get it out of here. It's basically just, they're just giving you it's free market research.
Yeah.
Netflix did the same thing when Netflix bought Millar World. We thought they were going to do Millar World shows, but they're publishing their own books through
ones.
Millar World
Yep.
because they're just basically trying ideas and going, let's see if this works in comic.
Yep.
See how many it sells. Will it make a good show?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's free market research.
And-
so that's why I think there is room for it, but it's the way it's done.
Yeah. The guy that we interviewed, I really liked that their plan was to make a digital comic.
Yeah,
So on
yeah.
their app, there was a specific app for it. It really was cool how it led you through it, right? And it wasn't just like Marvel's where you tap on that and it enlarges the panel. It
Yeah.
didn't do that.
It was a reel.
It
Yeah.
was in a reel.
It was a
form.
scroll.
So, but it was really cool how it.
Yes, it was
navigated.
designed specifically for phone reading, and it was engaging. I like that.
Yeah, but there's a big difference between that and then when they scan comic books and you have to read
Yeah.
comic book on your phone or I use
But they also, that digital comic could never be done in print because it wouldn't be the same.
DC has to go that way right now because I mean they haven't come out and said it, but it's pretty obvious
They have no money.
They're going under. And so
Yeah, it's funny that they kept using the term deceased because
This is like the state of their world.
yeah.
It is gone.
Oh man. Okay.
Clara,
well,
how do you feel about digital comics?
I do not like digital comics.
for reading or for producing of your own or
I mean, I would start with reading because I haven't gone any further than that.
okay. So you've never made a comic that's for a digital format?
No,
Okay.
no. I mean, that might just be me. I just have like no reading comprehension on a screen. I don't like looking at screens.
It's tough for me too.
Yeah, it's just not the way. It's just not the way. And like I know they will always
the way.
sell. And like we had this. You remember when we had this issue with Kindles? We were like, oh, it's gonna kill print. No, it didn't.
No. It'll never.
It's nothing is as big a deal as we think it is.
and
Pretty
the
much.
thing that nobody brings up, they pretend like with digital comics, like you get the comic and that's it. No, there's extra cost. First off, if you're reading it on your phone, you're dumb because your eyes are going to get hurt. You're not going to be able to read for very long. If you're reading it on a tablet, it's the same screen.
Yeah.
So now that we finally have color e-ink displays coming out, great. You'll be able to get one for like $75 pretty easily. But that's $75 and then you have to buy the comics.
Well,
And with Comixology, you don't get to buy them, you get to borrow them.
Right.
And I've just come to the conclusion that as a retailer who sells it and as a person who collects it and a person who reads it and I like art and I like my comics, I'm not threatened by digital comics.
That's
I'm not
good.
worried about digital comics because I don't think it will ever overtake print. It hasn't ever in the past.
Right.
And I don't think there's room
We
for
don't
it to
have-
overtake in the future. I just think there is a place. It's just how it's used and what kind of thing are they trying to accomplish.
Okay. Let's
We don't
just-
have the technology right now to replace it.
Well, there's no reason.
No.
It'll just never overtake it. It'll never.
You'd need
overtake it.
something that you could just quick roll up, stick it in your pocket, like what kids used to do with comic books.
Book like this is so nice
The
to hold in your
the
hands.
tactile-
Yes.
Yeah.
And
The
you
smell of
actually
the
have holding it up to your face is a personal experience.
I agree.
And you can't fake that. And also, this would be such a huge file.
I don't have the memory for this.
Nobody-
I need a better
nobody does.
computer.
All right, we are back. Sorry, that was my fault. The SD card went out. I have no idea how long it had been.
We'll figure it out.
It'll be fine. Anyway, guys, let's wrap this up. We've been going a while.
Yes, absolutely.
So, 150th episode went really good. I had a lot of fun.
We had a couple of technical hiccups, but
That always happens.
it always happens. Absolutely. It always happens.
But the thing is, you got to roll with it and just act like, okay.
To quickly wrap it up, I do want to ask that question again, though.
Oh, yeah.
What does the future of Smash and Grab Comics look like to you, Tyler?
The future of Smash and Grab. Well, TR just laid some info on it, so it might change.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, just nothing long, but brief. What do you feel?
What I feel the future.
Yes.
Well, we're branching into YouTube. I'm liking the videos TR's putting out. I don't know. Hopefully, just more, but manageable.
Yeah.
Like I do not like big change right away, so I got to ease into stuff. You know?
I feel you. TR, same question.
Same answer. Honestly, the same, but bigger. I mean, we're slowly getting into the YouTube stuff. I'm trying to increase the quality as I go there, the more I learn. And I guess we should do a shout out to Bennu again, because like the crazy amount of stuff that got donated.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm on a microphone now. This is its maiden voyage on Smash and Grab Comics. A microphone that was donated to us. So
I love it.
And you're
yay.
using a mixer that was donated.
yes.
And all this is edited with software on a machine. The software, the machine, the keyboard, all this stuff donated. It's like thousands of dollars worth of stuff that he
for sure.
went here.
Yeah, I mean,
He just went, here you go.
Wow.
Fabulous. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
it's
big
so
shout
good.
out to Bennu Peters. And he's so pretty.
Is he? I mean, I'm vicarious.
But to anybody out there, we'll
then,
always take
Seri-
free stuff.
Seriously, I'm not making a joke.
I don't know if he is, but let's make this happen, because you two kind of physically remind me of each other.
That's how that
Oh,
works.
is that going to be? I'm
No,
married.
no, it's
I'm
not.
married.
I'm
though,
not
to a
speaking
woman.
about sexuality in general. I'm just saying what I personally want to happen.
Oh, okay. So you're fan fictioning.
where our,
Yeah.
where our beards meld like Velcro. Just-
Yeah, I said that.
Peel me off.
Okay.
you.
The sound.
Here's what happened.
God.
I made that joke. I
That
made
was
that
so funny.
comment,
That was so funny.
not thinking, hey, there's real people in the store. So I made
He
a
was during
joke
store
about
hours. He said,
I made a joke about
no.
let's
We'll
get our
stick-
let's get our beards stuck together like Velcro. And like there was a kid not too far away, and I
Some
was
grandmother
like,
was horrified.
yeah.
It was pretty bad.
I
Dear
think
God.
I think I even made a point of announcing like I don't work here and they can't they can't make me
I don't know any of these
leave.
people. I have amnesia. Where am I?
What time does the bus show up? Okay, well, great.
With that,
One more question for Clara. What does the future of Clara's artwork and Clara's work look like to you?
So I got a few. You mean like specifically, or do you?
No.
Like,
I mean,
philosophically?
Where do you see the
however
career
you'd like.
going?
Where do you see yourself, working, or do you want to talk about current projects? Please, this is an open format kind of question. Absolutely.
In general, I'm still working on a bunch of commissions. I have a couple of little side things on the docket, but Elliot and I are working on another pitch.
Beautiful.
I've been co-writing a story with Todd DeZago recently, and we're going to try to pitch that one probably after
It's a different wheelhouse for you.
Elliot and I's book. Well, we're working on it together, so it's going to be very different for him as well.
Yeah.
We're both worried about being typecast at this stage, so we're trying to both branch out.
sure.
I mean, he definitely has been typecast,
Oh,
but
so,
he's
like,
had
as a-
such a long career.
Elliot, as an indie writer or typecast as what?
Not Elliot, Todd.
Oh, Todd. I'm
Todd
sorry.
DeZago, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's lots of things coming down the pipe. It's just a question of when it works out, and I'm fine with that. I'm doing fine in the meantime. I'm enjoying the opportunity to improve and continue growing as an artist. So that's been a good experience. And these last couple months have honestly been very lucrative. I'm very grateful for that. I have very supportive fan base. People get a lot of commissions. I get a lot of...
Are your commissions open?
It depends on the size. Let's talk later.
Well, no, I more meant for our audience.
Yeah, it's always worth hitting me up. Hit me up on any social media. We'll talk about it. If I don't think I can do it justice or get it in a reasonable amount of time, then it might not happen. But we can do that organically.
Or for just patient people, they can just say, "I'd like
Yeah.
this done."
Absolutely.
Let me know whenever you can.
Like I have one of my fans. He's been the best. He has just like a standing order for commissions. Just like next time you have time, just hit me up. And I'll think
He's
of
ready
something
to go. He's ready to go.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. So
That's awesome.
You can
Whenever
do stuff
you need
like
an
that.
extra bump, you know.
Yeah,
just call them
exactly.
and, what did you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My people are the best people.
That's
I
awesome.
want to say that to all of you out there. You all have been wonderful. Thank you.
So,
You
is
deserve-
there a website?
I've never really had a website. It's never felt quite necessary.
Sure.
But, follow me on Instagram. Follow me
Clara
on the art.
_Meath.
Yes. Clara Meath on Instagram. You can follow the Art of Clara Meath on Facebook, which is pretty much all the same stuff as Instagram. But, some people prefer a different platform. That's pretty much it. I still technically have a Tumblr, but Tumblr doesn't really, whatever.
Yeah.
That was an experiment that was like,
Yeah.
it was like Facebook meets Twitter.
Yeah.
Kind of, but it was also
Remember when it was supposed
Instagram-y,
to come out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
It was a little weird.
Oh, and I still have an online store. I do have a Storenvy, comics and art by Clara Meath at Storenvy. I think I just put those prints up there today so that I could justifiably show them around.
Storenvy Comics and
Comics and art by Clara
Art
Meath.
by
I
Clara
believe.
Meath.
Again, I have a rare enough name that I don't stress remembering my platform.
Yeah.
Just just
Yeah.
search my name. You
Yep,
know?
exactly.
You're not gonna miss it.
Well, I think that really wraps everything up. I want to thank everybody for watching, everybody who was listening to the episode. We made it to 150, baby. I think we'll make it to 250 and then 350.
I believe in you.
What is your long-term
Yeah.
goal for the show?
My experience with this is just it's been a labor of love and a labor of passion for what we do. And I don't think we've ever had an identity crisis with this show. We've always just organically grown it to what feels natural
always,
for us.
It's always just moved. Actually, right before TR came on, it was getting pretty stale with our usual.
Well, we just kind of fell into like I read this book.
Yep.
It was cool.
Yeah. That's not
Your voices were different
That's
then.
not
Yeah,
far off.
exactly.
I mean, we got bored.
Yeah.
And it was, we'd sit down. It was just him and I, and just be like, "Oh, see you later." And it wasn't
Yeah.
like there was no energy.
But once we kind of broke that norm of like this is what the show is, we're a comic review show, and then we've kind of broken out from that. Now we just are a nerdy show that started in comics, but we continue to just talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's our time to just decompress from the week or just talk about a topic that we like
But
or
we
do
always
something.
bring it back to that nerd
Yeah,
culture. whether
absolutely.
it's movies,
Absolutely.
manga.
And oh,
I'm just kidding.
Mangoes.
One of my things I've always been consistent with, and I've always fought for this show, and fought for really anybody for doing something like this, is just produce good content, and the viewers will come, and the listeners will come. And Tyler can attest to this, because when we first started, we had 20 downloads a month.
Yeah.
When we first started, and we were just
Yeah.
like, oh man, Well, I'm like, dude, just don't worry about this. Like, let's just remain consistent and believe that what we're doing is fun and awesome.
What
And
are your
people-
numbers now?
2000.
Thousands.
Whoa! Boys!
Thousands. Ballin'.
Yeah, about 2000.
Sorry, I hit the mic.
About 2000 a month.
You guys!
And when
Yeah.
when
I'm so proud of you.
honestly,
Thanks, Mom. Where's my trophy?
yeah, no.
Can we go after ice cream?
yes?
I went up to a Minnesota Vikings game and someone recognized my T-shirt.
Whoa!
Yeah, and
There's
so-
customers that'll just thank me for the podcast. I'm like, huh? And they're
Yeah.
like, hey, thanks, man. I'm like,
Right.
for the show. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What show?
They're
They're
like, I've been
the
in Sioux
podcast.
Falls
Oh,
wearing one of my own shirts, and they'd be like, I listen to that. I'm like, what?
I'm on
I
that.
almost want to be like, I was like, I'm Tyler.
Yes,
It's me.
it's me.
They're like,
This is bullshit. I haven't gotten any of that, but my dog gets recognized from TikTok.
it's
Well, let's
okay, His dog. He had a viral video go on TikTok. over his
My
dog.
dog's had a few. I've got 27, almost 28,000 followers just for my dog. I don't show my face or
That's
anything.
precious.
But he's got, like, basically that means he has 28,000 more followers than anything I've ever done. So if you think I'm treating him passive aggressive, you're right.
You find your niche.
No, that's fine. Let's go for a walk,
We
puppy.
regularly have 2,000 people, or 2,000 devices, I should say. Maybe they download it on two different things. I don't know.
Maybe it's one person with 2,000 phones.
Hell
It
yeah.
could be.
Thank you, Bob.
Roughly 2,000 separate IP addresses download this a month. So there you go, TR.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we want to continue that. And
26,000
again,
more, though.
Do you know what the sad part is, though, for like really big corporate sponsors? They won't even talk to you till you have 10,000 or more.
But that makes sense. They don't want. They can't waste their time.
Yeah.
Like, they're busy.
I understand that,
I
but
do.
like if they would lower that, we would get those numbers. You know, it would work hand in hand.
I think you just have to start door knocking locally.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
But I really want to again thank you to the fans. That's really what we do this for.
Thank you to Nathan Kelly and
John Lees for doing that great and beautiful intro.
Erin Garey.
They've
Put
been,
that on Facebook. Put that on YouTube. I mean, we gotta show them our
they're
love
awesome.
too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
at the end of the day, we can't be here and do this without you guys, and that's why we continue to do it. Is because we really truly enjoy it, and it's so much fun to know that people are out there like you go guys, and it's great.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's great.
Well,
and thank you to Clara.
Clara, for coming.
Yeah,
on.
thank you
It's
so
my
much for being
pleasure.
here.
I love
Because
coming on here.
For 150th, we needed somebody just to chat with and not necessarily just be another episode. Like, 150. Our 100 episode was really cool because we had Doug Mankey from
Oh, so cool.
Detective Comics.
Yeah.
And that one came about kind of last minute.
Just a little, again, it's kind of the tradition of the show. It organically happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then we did this kind of a roundtable discussion.
Mm-hmm.
We had workers from Rainbow here popping over to like talk, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm hoping our 200th could be just. I mean, 150 is not quite as of a thing, but 200th, let's throw a party.
Hell yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So in a year and a half, we'll be there.
We should do it at a little gallery. I know
Hey, that was a fun night.
that was a great night.
when
It
we
really
did the
was.
live.
It
Our
was
first
fun.
and only live show.
It was
A year and a half?
in front of an audience.
What's that?
A year and a half?
That's how long it took us to do another 50 episodes because
Oh.
over Christmas.
Yep.
Gotcha.
We take a break. So it took about a year and a half to do 50 episodes. Yeah.
All right.
But with that, for Smash and Grab Comics, I'm JP, sitting with TR, the Enigma, the bearded, self-proclaimed king of comics,
Yes. That's
Tyler.
self-proclaimed, by the way.
Yeah, self-proclaimed.
So, there you go.
and then by day, Clara Meath, by night, Sarah Meeks.
Yes. It's my name. Don't wear it out.
Thank you again for showing up. Smash and Grab, we out.
We out, baby.